Hi there guys, Ken here, your thrifty apprentice, and welcome back to the studio. Really wasn't sure if I was going to post this video, guys, but after watching it back, I kind of feel like the landscape came out pretty good. So here we have a video. I kind of threw the camera on as I was playing around with these Mealing Pretty Excellent watercolors and a 72 count of the Color Mondeluz watercolor pencils. Both of these products I've actually been enjoying testing out and playing around with for some upcoming reviews, so you guys be sure to stay tuned for that. Sketched out a quick little landscape here. Kind of wanted to practice on some techniques that I was using solely for watercolor pencil work and kind of mix it with paint just to see what I could accomplish. So that's where we were going here, and I didn't narrate it as I was painting because I didn't really want that pressure. I just kind of wanted to paint and see what I could come up with. So I'm mixing. I'm not really using any of the convenience colors here. I'm mainly using the cadmium yellow, the ultramarine blue, the cobalt blue, and oh God, what was that? The more crimson another color, maybe Madder Lake. I'd have to look at my reference sheet, and I'm not around it at the moment, but anyway, the more of the magenta looking color, and I'm just kind of using it. I mix greens, I'm mixing grays, darker and lighter shades of grays. Those greens and grays are going in the background on the mountains. The cobalt blue and ultramarine blue I used in the sky. Then you saw me use a paper towel to just dab out some clouds. I took a mixture of the ultramarine and the cad and the cad yellow, and I am using it to mix a green, and that's what's in the foreground on the grass. I kind of pulled some pencils from that watercolor pencil set that I thought complemented, matched, and went well with the paints that I was going to be using, which is why I chose to mix the green versus using one of the pre-established greens that were already in the palette. Just kind of did the tree line with those watercolor pencils, and of course I'm using a just small synthetic brush too. I'm just dabbing. I'm really dabbing to add texture to that kind of random scribble of trees that I put in the back line. And as you can see, it automatically add texture and instantly becomes like, this little line of trees in the background. Now, I hadn't decided at this point whether I was going to put barks on those trees, and so that you can kind of see through the bottom of the tree line, or if I was going to close it off and make that land. But ultimately, I do decide to just put a little patch of land back there because I thought it complemented the composition a little bit more. I took that same watercolor pencil, or pairing of watercolor pencils, which was like a green, a yellow, and a darker blue, that I used to do that tree line, and did the triad of trees on the side of the lake. Mixed a little bit more blue into that green to get a darker color, just so I can go and put in some shadows into the foreground, add a little oomph to the grassy area. And now I'm using more of a, I guess that color was more like burnt sienna, and then sort of an orange, a little blue, and mixing the land colors for right up under that tree area. And I feel like that pushed those trees even further back, adding more distance to the painting. It was kind of starting to come together. Mixing these two products together was really giving me the effect that I originally kind of, envisioned in my head when I started on this painting. It was fun, guys. It was really fun. And I'm going to say these paints are pretty amazing. I actually can't wait to do the video review on them. I have a lot to share with you guys, and yeah, they are a really good buy. They're really budget friendly. They are super, super transparent. There you see I made no mistake where I laid down. See, those watercolor pencils, if you lay too many layers on top, it'll start to lift the layer underneath. And then I also made the mistake of adding paint, too much paint, which was adding too much water to those watercolor pencils. So it just got kind of out of hand. I took a paper towel, dabbed that area up, and you're going to see me go in and fix it later with some watercolor pencils. Here you see I am painting in the rock area, adding in some details, some texture, just to make them feel closer to us, just bring them out of the background and into the foreground. And keep in mind, anything that you want to look closer to you as the viewer is going to be closer, or should I say further down towards the bottom of the paper, and it's going to be bigger because you want to give the impression that it is a closer item to you. So if it was up close, of course, it would be bigger than anything that was farther off from you, which is why anything behind our horizon line was intentionally made smaller. But of course, you guys understand the whole concept of creating distance. If you don't, I'll be more than happy to explain it. Guys, let me know. I'll make a video only about creating distance if, that's something that anybody would be interested in. But moving on here, just trying to add a little bit more texture and color into the rocks, giving them a little more character and definition, which brings me full circle back around to what I was saying earlier about these paints. Stay tuned for that review. Stay tuned for the review on the watercolor pencils coming up. Here you'll see that I'm just painting in the bark of the tree using one of those browns from the Mondeluz set. It's really nice set of pencils. Both of these products I'm actually pretty fond of, and they work really well together in paintings. The colors complement. You can really find colors in the watercolor pencil set that complement the paints, although they're made by two completely different companies and definitely nowhere near the same factories. But yeah, these products worked well together. Just adding in some shadow and extra color to the foreground, to the grassy area, just to give it a little bit more punch, make it feel warmer and more lively. Then eventually you're going to see me mix a shadow color here, and I'm going to use that shadow color to just paint in the shadows. Now, I took a pen and kind of drew a light in the corner on my tape, just so I can always have in mind a reference of what direction the light is coming from, because I have a very bad habit of forgetting to put in shadows and highlights sometimes, and it grounds your painting. It makes your painting feel more real, should I say. So I needed to definitely remind myself, so I threw that little light up in the corner. And here you're going to see I'm just taking that brush and I'm going in and I'm adding shadows into the different areas that I feel would be reflecting the shadow if the light was coming from like the top left-hand corner of the painting. If I put down a shadow and it didn't feel dark enough, I just kind of went back in with another layer in order to deepen that shadow until I got the effect that I was eventually looking for. I'm going to grab a black fine line marker at one point, and I'm going to actually kind of put a border around the painting just for effect. I think it made it look really nice. Of course, it's Inktober, and I'd been playing around with ink paintings, so I kind of had it in my head to use an ink in the painting in some shape, form, or fashion, so I'm just going to throw in a border. You see I added a few grasses just to kind of, finish the picture off. And there goes that border I was talking about. Yeah. And we're going to sign it. And that's pretty much going to kind of wrap things up, guys. If you like anything that you saw in this painting, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe, excuse me. Hit that bell for notifications of when new content coming up. A lot of great things coming out. Don't forget to like and love on Thrifty Apprentice Facebook and Instagram page. And as I tell you at the end of every video, guys, just keep painting.